There's no doubt that many people would agree that the majority of artwork found in museums and private collections around the world are priceless. Being one of a kind, it makes it difficult to put a price on many works. However, almost on a daily basis, art is sold and bought, oftentimes bringing hefty price tags that most will never be able to afford. It goes without saying that the best art sells for prices beyond your wildest imagination, and quite rightly so. Art is considered a luxury worth investing in. Auction house sales are heavily researched by specialists who know everything there is to know about the paintings that they are valuing. As interest in purchasing renowned pieces of art increases, the price paid for them correlates accordingly, meaning that the most expensive known pieces of art sold at auctions have ranged between a lower limit of $118 million and $450 million. These are the top 10 most expensive art pieces in the world. Before we get into the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Number 10. Masterpiece, Roy Lichtenstein, $165 million. Roy Lichtenstein is among the pioneers of the pop art culture that deflated the macho mystique image of American art and produced something that was more realistic and relatable. His best-known work, The Masterpiece, 1962, features some classic elements of pop art like Ben-Day dots and speech balloons set in a comic strip narrative. The painting was a part of Lichtenstein's first exhibition at the Ferris Gallery, Los Angeles, featuring other works like The Drowning Girl and the portrait of Madame Cézanne. The painting was inspired by comic book illustrations and competes alongside some of his other famous pieces, including Wham! And Look Mickey. In 2017, hedge fund billionaire and avid art collector Stephen A. Cohen bought the piece for the hefty sum of $165 million. Number 9. New COUCHE, AMEDEO Modigliani, $170.4 million. New COUCHE, aka the Red Nude or the Reclining Nude, is a 1917 oil-on-canvas painting by the Italian painter AMEDEO Modigliani. Often considered to be the painter's magnum opus, the New COUCHE is a seamless fusion of classical idealism and modern-day sensuality. The picture of the naked woman lying on the couch looks erotically realistic, yet has a surreal, almost sublime beauty that catches the viewer off guard. There is nothing crass or vulgar about this column of tenderness. The woman as described by Modigliani. Instead, she comes across as a sensual, aroused woman in her prime who is not afraid to give and demand physical pleasure. Sold in 2015, this particular nude painting was first shown to the public in 1917. After a few hours of its debut, the French police had to intervene, as it was termed as obscene by many visitors. It is just one of a collection of popular nude paintings by Modigliani. It was sold to the Chinese billionaire Liu Yiquan for $170.4 million in 2015. It was reported that he purchased the piece in a single transaction using his American Express card. Number 8. Les Femmes d'Alger, version O, Pablo Picasso, $197.4 million. Les Femmes d'Alger, version O, was part of the 1954-55 series from Picasso called Les Femmes d'Alger, Woman of Algiers. It was the last of the 15 versions in the series, which was considered to be a tribute to his friend Henri Matisse. Until Salvator Mundi broke the record, Les Femmes d'Alger, version O, was the most expensive painting sold at auction for 2 years. The picture is representative of Algerian concubines in their harem with a hookah used to smoke hashish or opium. This particular painting is considered the masterpiece in the series. The piece was purchased by Hamad bin Jassim bin Jabr Al Thani, the former Prime Minister of Qatar. Number 7. Pendant portraits of Morton Solomons and Opgen Capet, Rembrandt, $180 million. Painted to celebrate the wedding of Martin and Opgen in 1634, these two Rembrandt paintings have never been separated. Art experts and historians agree that the painting should always be displayed together and never apart. These paintings were his first full-length portraiture works. They were purchased by the Louvre and Rijksmuseum in 2015 as a joint venture, each paying 50%. The Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam and the Louvre in Paris jointly purchased these two works and will take turns showcasing these treasured paintings so that the masses can finally see them in person. They are always displayed together and have never been separated, even though they shuttle between both museums. Number 6. Violet, Green, and Red, Mark Rothko, $186 million. You don't really need a picture to envision this painting, as the title is self-explanatory. However, it was painted in 1951 by famous Russian-American abstract expressionist Mark Rothko. The use of vivid colors in a simple pattern exemplifies Rothko's signature style of conveying an intimate message without the use of subjects. This piece was bought for USD $186 million by the Russian businessman Dmitry Rublev from the Swiss art dealer Yves Bouvier in the year 2014. The painting might even be more famous for being one of 36 pieces in the Bouvier affair. This is an ongoing court battle between Russian tycoon Dmitry Rublev and his art dealer Yves Bouvier. Dmitry claims that Yves defrauded him out of hundreds of millions of dollars, overcharging him for multiple paintings, which Yves strongly denies. While the purchase has subsequently got embroiled in legal disputes, this piece still remains one of the expensive pieces of art in the world. Number 5. Number 17A, Jackson Pollock, $200 million. Jackson Pollock is one of the most famous abstract expressionist painters of all time. This piece made of abstract work was created sometime in 1948 and was featured in the 1947 Life magazine article that made the painting a household name. Done on fiberboard canvas using just oil paints, number 17A looks like a messy mirage of patterns and colors. This 1948 painting by Jackson Pollock was the second piece of artwork bought in a $500 million deal as part of a deal by David Geffen Foundation and Kenneth Griffin. Number 17A isn't on public display at the moment. However, there are many exceptional Pollock collections on display in museums around the world, including the New York's Museum of Modern Art, MoMA. Number 4. NAFEA IPOIPO, Paul Gauguin, $210 million. French post-impressionist Paul Gauguin painted this piece when he was on his first trip to Tahiti. Translating to "When Will You Marry?", this interesting painting was completed by Paul Gauguin in post-impressionist 1892. It features two women from Tahiti. The artwork has also previously been called the most expensive painting in the world, selling for $210 million in Quater's royal family in 2015 after 2 years of negotiations. Number 3. The Card Players, Paul Cézanne, $250 million. The third most expensive painting in the world is The Card Players by Paul Cézanne. It is one of 5 paintings included in the French master's 1890s series of the same name. Paul Cézanne painted the card players during the point where he was the most acclaimed. The buyers of the piece were the royal family of Qatar in 2011. There are 4 other pieces titled the same, but they are placed at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Musée d'Orsay, the Courtauld, and the Barnes Foundation. Number 2. Interchange, Willem de Kooning, $300 million. Painted by Dutch-American abstract painter Willem de Kooning, Interchange was one of his first abstract landscape works. Like any abstract work of art, even Interchange appears to be vague and nonsensical at a glance. A closer observation reveals several layers to the painting. It symbolizes the transition that Kooning's life was undergoing at that time. Hedge fund billionaire Kenneth C. Griffin bought it alongside his Jackson Pollock No. 17A purchase in a $500 million deal. If you want to take a look at one of the most expensive paintings in the world, then the Interchange is currently displayed at the Art Institute of Chicago. Number 1. Salvator Mundi, Leonardo da Vinci, $450.3 million. Leonardo da Vinci's depiction of Jesus Christ holding a crystal orb is the most expensive painting in the world. The painting was commissioned by King Louis XII of France in 1605, during the same period as the Mona Lisa. However, somewhere between 1763 and 1900, it disappeared from all records until it was rediscovered in 2005 by a group of British art dealers. This piece by Leonardo da Vinci, painted in the 1500s, was often put under the radar for its authenticity. The art world is still divided whether it's da Vinci's real work or the work of one of his skilled students. The savior of the world, Salvator Mundi, was purchased by the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, on behalf of the Abu Dhabi Department of Culture and Tourism.